I learned it during the fellowship and just completely fell in love with it. And I've basically pretty much done it every day of my life since. I'm Tuesday Riddell and I'm a Japanner. I learned Japanning during a Painter Stainer fellowship at City and Guilds Art School about 3 years ago now, and I've been doing Japanning ever since. So when I'm beginning a japanned piece, I'll start with a wooden board, which I prepare with traditional gesso, which I'll cook beforehand. And once I've got the gessoed board, I'll prepare a mixture of European lacquers, which is made up of varnishes and pigments. And I usually do about 25, sometimes 30 layers of the lacquer until I get a mirrored board. And I have to sand in between every few layers. So it's really, really smooth and you've got no brush lines. And then once the board's ready, I leave it to dry for about a week or two. And then I cut the gold on my little board. It has a weird illusion effect to it because of the gold and silver, I think, and like the depth of the black. And it's just so magical and beautiful. It's so thin that if you put it on your finger, it's kind of magnetic in a way. And then you can't use that now because that's now stuck to your finger. And it's so thin that it turns to dust. Then I usually get my brushes, and you have to get a little bit of grease, so you touch it on your face or somewhere that's greasy. I always come home at the end of the day with like gold eyebrows. And then it attracts the gold to it, so it'll pick up the gold, but it won't stick to it. It's just enough to cling on to it. And then you'll lay it on top of the areas that you've gilded, and it'll give you a gold or silver silhouette. And then you get another brush and dust it all off, and you're left with the silhouette that you're going to work from. I did a BA in painting at City and Guilds Art School before the fellowship, and I took the work that I was doing in my paintings and put it into Japannings. And it just completely clicked for me. I felt like my paintings weren't really giving me what I wanted. They weren't capturing something, and as soon as I learned Japanning, everything just clicked into place. The darkness, I really loved the depth that you can get in Japanning, and just the way the gold glows out of it. It just has a really magical effect, and I think because I worked with forest floor scenes in my paintings, it worked really well once it was in Japanning. Just had the depth that I'd been looking for. Sometimes, because the boards are so shiny, the gold leaf sticks to the lacquer. You just have to get like a tougher brush. There we go. And then I can put on the silver leaf. I get gold size and paint the silhouette of the areas that I want to be gilded. And so that takes about 3 hours to cure before it's ready for the gold leaf to go on it. And you have to feel it, and once it's a certain amount of tack, like just the tiniest bit tacky, it like drags slightly, and then that's when you know it's ready to go on. Silver's a little bit thicker, so you can actually touch silver and still use it. And once it's ready, I'll cut all of the gold or silver and then lay it onto the gold leaf. I think traditionally Japanning, a lot of the imagery was dreamt up compositions of what people thought things were like. Like, look, can you see it reaching up? Almost like magnetic. And a lot of the time it's very simplistic, whereas my work's quite detailed, so I think I've taken the technique, but my imagery is very different to traditional Japanning. Also, the subject matter, I feel like Forest Floor is actually taken from Sotto Bosco paintings. It's the weirdest process. Let's do a little gold bit in the middle. When you dust it off, the studio's just like gold floating everywhere. And once I've got the silhouette, then I'll paint over it with layers of shade and then layers of line. And once I've got the central image, I'll work around with the background, and I'll do backgrounds in gold powders and luster powders and kind of build things up behind it. But it'll all kind of revolve around the kind of gilded areas. Start with it really strong at the bottom and then like dust upwards, and you can kind of get this really beautiful gradient. So you get that kind of really beautiful effect in the background. And then I think this is one of my favourite bits. I think what I love most about it is the way it changes with light. I think my favourite time to look at them is in the evening. You get this really soft golden light, and it makes the gold in the images just have this really beautiful golden glow. In the morning, and you look at them and the sun's coming in, they're really bright. The gold flashes at you. And then I love when I leave the studio on a night time and you turn all of the lights out, and I don't know where it gets the light from, but the gold and silver, they kind of glow in the dark. And it looks like weird and kind of supernatural. Yeah, but they do have a really beautiful, like intimate, like moment. I just love how the way they look just changes throughout the day.